Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be creating or recreating the Uncharted movie poster. So this is what Sony uploaded yesterday as we're recording this. It's classic Sony, very like the Marvel poster they released. So what is wrong with it? It doesn't fit Uncharted in my opinion. It's very basic. It's too shiny and clean. So I think we could fix this, make it fit the franchise. So what will I change about it? So I'm going to make it fit Uncharted, I'm going to make it gritty, I'm going to make it more of a scene, and I'm not going to use floating heads because it's overused and overdone. So these are the game covers, and as you can see, they're all scenes. He's all in action poses. Even the PS Vita and Lost Legacy fit the covers, So let's get into it. So first of all, I put in this photo of Tom Holland, which he uploaded on his social media a few months ago, of the franchise. And then I started sketching out on my canvas what I wanted it to be like. So in my eyes, he was going to be standing on the edge of a cliff with a few islands behind them, much like Uncharted 4, with the pirate ship which we saw in the trailer behind them. So this is me just mapping out how I want the landscape to look. It's very basic, and it looks awful as we talk, but it does hopefully get a lot better. So what I'm doing here is I'm going on to Unsplash, which is one of my favourite websites to use, just to get some stock images of terrain and grass and all that sort of stuff. And I use perspective and transform so I can map it to the landscape I've got, and then I just add in other wee bits of foliage and stuff just to make it blend, have a different aspect, formations in the ground and stuff. And then I added some cliff work. So after this, I wanted just to have some more foliage and wee tree stump and all that. So how I'm going to blend this in is I'm going to use a grass brush from a pack which I downloaded, and it helps a lot. It just nicely blends it. So now I'm adding the tree. So the tree I wanted to be a lot slimmer, so I had to paint my own leaves on and I used the same pack. I'll see if I can link it in the description. So for the water, I struggled a lot for this to try to find the right horizon line and the right water I wanted to use. So a couple of failed attempts in trying to make my own water, but it never really clicked. So I did have a technical issue where I lost like 2 clips because of corruption, but I go back on the Unsplash and get some more images. So as you can see, the water's a lot better looking now, and I added in some islands and used the water brush to add some ripples around it. So I added more islands in the back, and I wanted a formation which would look odd, like you would see in Uncharted 4, and I think these did it perfectly. And then I added in this rock formation behind Nate, and I thought it turned out perfect. So this pirate ship, I don't know how well it looked at the time, but I had the perspective warp this just to get it to look natural. And then I started hiding everything with smoke, Photoshop movie poster artist's favourite thing. So after this, I added in a sky, matched the watercolor with the sky, just to add that little bit more, of an environmental flush with it all, basically. And then I added more smoke just to hide and add some more depth to a few things. I started adding rocks and boulders into the front and then blending them with the grass below, and trying to get this tree to have roots, but I actually decided to go against it because I think it didn't fit the scale. So This is about 5 minutes of me working out how to do this, just for me to hit delete, which you'll see in a few seconds. I then added this here rock in just to stick right in front of it, just to hide the whole lot there stuff I was doing, so I used select a mask to get rid of all that white stuff around, then I added a bit of smoke behind the rock so the tree had a bit of depth, and then I started hiding Nate's shoes with the grass brush, and then I made my own shadow of him, which is just horizontal flip and Gaussian blurs. I tried a few of these just to get it right, and I got pretty happy with that one. And then I wanted to add an AK, which is one of the most popular guns in the world, and it's one of the most popular guns in Uncharted. So I just need to find one which had the right sort of aspect ratio, where enough of the underside of the gun was shown. So I added it in, added a wee bit of blur, blend it into the grass, and then I started with blurring that into like having a wee shadow. So after I added the title just to see where I wanted it to go, and I was happy enough with that, and then I wanted to add a few more wee grenades, sticks, boulders, grass, and we'll see how that turned out. As you can see here, I added in a new sky, and then I just got rid of it instantly. And then I'm going to add a lens flare, not crazy like the original poster, just a wee one, so there's light coming through behind the pirate ship, make it look a wee bit more natural. But looking at the pirate ship there, it still looked very fake, so I'm going to blur in the ground, add a wee bit more smoke to it, so it hides it away. So now it's on to one of my favourite parts, which is the shadow and highlights. So I'm just using a dark brush on it and the rocks around, and blurring it enough so it's hard to see, but it also adds a bit of depth to them and shadows. So I'm doing that to everything around. So it does take. This is maybe the most lengthy part because it's working out what you wanted to do. And then I'm back into adding more foliage. I'm kind of addicted to it, so this is what we're done. We've stuck some in the top corner. We're going in, adding the curves, changing the brightness, and then that's really us with the main poster. I added in lightning. I don't know why. I just thought it'd be funny. So that's really the main design of the poster. And then after I merged all the back layers and used field blur, so we got a nice gradient, so there's depth in the photo. And then I did it to the front without Nate at the end, so I got that and then re-added him on top, just to have the same sort of blur onto the image. So that is basically the main image done. So it's going to be over the Lightroom to see what we can do from there. So we're just going to export this and stick it over in Lightroom, and I'm using Peter McKinnon's preset pack 4, and I modified one and I just called it Uncharted, and I experimented with this before, and then I wanted to try to add like a paper texture and hide like a map behind it, but then I just thought it looked a wee bit too tacky, so it didn't last long. This was like a 10-second thing. Get out of here, really hated it. So then after I started adding all the titles, so I added my logo, which is Thor's hammer Mjolnir, the Sony logo, the release date, which is different nearly everywhere. So I went for the British date, and then I added the IMAX stuff. So this is my final design. I'm really happy with it. I think it's one of the best posters I've made. It fits the Uncharted franchise, and compared to the original, it's a completely different vibe. It's not bright, it's very, very gritty, it's very dark. So I just want to say thanks for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram or sub on YouTube, you don't have to, but it'd be very appreciated. So thanks. Peace out.